these two people siblings or dating? And these two? What about these two? Hello, Internet. Welcome to Style Theory, the show that's here to tell you that they are all dating. But it made you wonder, didn't it? It's romance month and love is in the air. And you know what I love more than flowers or candles? Weird internet trends. And none hit weirder than all those posts and videos dedicated to guessing if two people are siblings or dating. No, I'm not making this up. You've heard of opposites attract, right? Well, this is about recognizing like and liking it. As a competitive person, I can't resist the challenge when it comes across my feed, but it can be hard. They just look so alike. But there is something fun about using reason, logic, and just pure vibes to try to suss out whether a couple are boos or bros. And it got me thinking, how common is this? How many people actually date someone who looks so much like them that they could be mistaken for siblings? Now, maybe it's the fact that I can't relate, but I did have this problem before I worked at Ferris. You see, the first time I saw Matt and Stephanie on the couch on GT Live, I was like, what a cool brother-sister duo. Ugh, my bad. Sorry, guys. But that means that maybe there is something to this look like what you love thing. And what better way to find out than to make our very own Theorist-approved quiz that you and your partner or partners can do together to find out how similar you actually are. Visually, anyway. Don't tell me you aren't curious. I see you. To make that quiz, though, we need to first gather some data. The best place to start? The posts that inspired this episode in the first place. There are Instagrams dedicated to it and YouTube videos going viral all about this trend. So let's take a look at those to see what factors people are using to determine if people are siblings or dating.
Dating, they don't look at all alike.
I think they're siblings.
Why? I mean, they both have the same forehead, but that's it. Her nose tilts down, his is straight.
So that's how you do this.
What are you looking at?
I just thought that this was like a family outing and they're like, mom wants a picture.
There seem to be two methods when it comes to solving the siblings or dating equation. Method one is to look at the physical characteristics between two people. You know, do they have the same eyes or nose? I mean, if they share a lot of similar features, they're more likely to be siblings, right? On the other hand, the other method seems to be basing your decision solely off vibes alone. How physically close they are, where their hands are placed, how they dress, you get the idea. We are going to take both into account as we build our quiz. Theorists, I ended up going through way more siblings or dating posts than I ever care to admit, trying to find each and every detail the guessers and commenters used to determine what their answers were. From that, I extracted which key features kept coming up, what minute details might make the biggest difference. And with all that data, I was able to put together a 10-question quiz to find out if you and your partner look like you're dating, or if you've been watching too many episodes of Game of Thrones. Hey, I didn't make this trend. The internet did. Don't at me. Now, our questions can only be answered yes or no. The more physically similar you and your partner look, the more likely you are to be mistaken for siblings. So if you get more yeses on the quiz, the more you look alike. If you get more no's, the less you look alike. You get the idea. In fact, go grab your partner and follow along with us. And if you don't have a partner right now, grab your siblings. See if you two actually look like you're related. And remember, this is all in good fun, okay? Okay, let's get quizzing. Question 1. Do you have the same eye color? There are roughly 6 different eye colors that are most common to humans, and it is determined by the DNA that you inherit from your parents.
I think it's because of the eyes. But you guys have like really unique color of eyes that like most people don't have.
So it makes sense that we are more likely to think that people with the same eye color could be related, even if that idea is very flawed. Siblings can have different eye colors depending on which genes they got from their biological parents. Even so, it is something that most guessers use to sway their answers, so it counts. If you and your partner have the same color eyes, that is a yes. Sticking with eyes, we have question number 2. Do you have the same eye shape?
It's like the same shape too.
Generally speaking, there are also 6 main eye shape categories: almond, hooded, deep set, monolid, downturned, and prominent. But even within those categories, there are so many variables to consider. Eye size, how far apart your eyes are, and even how much of the actual eyeball you see when your eyes are open. It's because of all these variables that when two people have eyes that are so similarly shaped, it's a big red flag that they might be siblings. But how similar is similar enough to answer yes yes on our quiz today. It's pretty rare for two people, even identical twins, to have the exact matches for every single eye-shaped trait. So to mark yes, you will need to have at least 3 of these traits in common: shape, distance, size, and position. For example, take a look at this pair. They both have almond-shaped eyes that taper at the ends. They are similarly sized and positioned compared to the rest of the face, and with a similar distance apart. That's a 4 out of 4, which means they would check yes. And yet, these two were not siblings. They were dating. Did you get that right? I didn't. Moving on. Question 3. Do you have the same eyebrows? Yes, people like to forget them, but just like your eyes, your genetics cause those face hairs to look a certain way. Their color, width, height, bushiness, and overall shape add up to make your unique, or maybe not so unique, eyebrow shape. But Amy, I hear you say, a lot of people style their eyebrows to look a certain way. Doesn't that mess with all this science? It would, if this was only about your natural features. You see, changing your eyebrow shape or color changes how people perceive your overall look, but they don't know it's artificial.
I see the matching eyebrow slits. Was that a stylistic choice?
Or was that like when you got together?
It can be either or.
Spoiler alert, they were sisters. But it means our point still stands, and if your eyebrows match, you check yes. Question 4. Do you have similar hair? Yes, I know we've talked a lot about hair recently on this channel, but this is important, okay? Taking a look at the pictures on the siblings or dating IG, similar hair is one of the biggest factors to what you end up guessing. But inside this umbrella, there are 3 mini factors to consider here. And if you and your partner match 2 or more, you need to mark down yes. Factor 1 is the most obvious: color.
You guys have like the same vibe.
Same hair color.
Certain colors, like blondes or redheads, are rare enough that it could tell a stranger that you and your partner share some genomes, whether it's your natural color or not. Factor 2, hair type. Now, I know we did a whole episode finding your hair type, which you should go and watch after this one, but for this question, you just need to know if you both have straight, wavy, or curly hair. If you do, then that counts towards your total for this question. Finally, factor 3, hair style.
Okay, mullets. That is the first thing that I saw is the mullets.
This is a bit of a hit or miss factor, but one we can't ignore. If you have the same hairstyle mixed with 1 or 2 of the other factors, then it could cause some confusion. Now, how about we take it to a speed round for some of your other prominent features? Question 5, do you have similar noses?
Your noses are like exactly the same. Turn to the side. Literally exactly the same.
Look at you and your partner's noses. Closer, closer, close. Not that close. Oh my God, we're in a public space. Ugh, goodness. Okay. Are your noses both smaller, taking up less surface area on your face, or larger, taking up more surface area? Is your nose wide or narrow? Is the bridge of your nose long or short? Do you have similar sized nostrils? If you have 2 or more of these in common, mark yes. Question number 6, do you have similar ears? This one is not just about size, though that is a factor. First, compare how your ears stick out from your head. Do they lay flat against your skull or pop out like Daniel Craig? I don't know why that's my go-to reference for this, but it is. Then check whether or not your earlobes are attached or detached. And you know the drill by now, theorists. If you get 2 or more the same, mark down yes. If you get only 1, mark no.
Final answer, dating.
Yeah, dating. I'm gonna have to say dating too.
Okay.
Question 7. Do you have a similar smile? This one comes up a lot. For this question, you need to consider a few things. The size and shape of your lips. Are they fuller? Do they have a defined Cupid's bow? Is one lip larger than the other? Then you need to take a look at the color and positioning on your face. Do your lips sit closer to your nose or closer to your chin? And of course, don't forget to compare your teeth. I'm just stating the data, everybody.
And you have similar teeth?
Can you give us a smile?
Very nice teeth,
Siblings.
both of you.
Now let's pull back and look at your whole face for question 8. Do you have similar face shapes? There are roughly 7 common face shapes: diamond, triangle, oval, rectangle, heart, round, and square. You can actually find out what you are pretty easy. We even made a short about it. But if you don't want to break out a tape measure, the biggest factors to consider here are jawline. Is it sharp or rounded? How many fingers does it take to cover your forehead? I would recommend using the same hand to measure, and how high, wide, wide and prominent are your cheekbones. That can really tell you whether you have a more angular or more rounded face. And then we have the question that most of you probably expected since the beginning of the episode. It is pretty obvious. Question 9. Do you have similar skin tones? Now, you'd think this would be a slam dunk question, but you'd be wrong.
Siblings.
Half siblings. Step.
What? Disqualified. Aside from tricky step siblings, biological siblings can also have different skin tones, depending on how the parents' genes divide, or if they only share the DNA of one parent. The skin tones between siblings can differ by a few shades to many shades. Yep, even fraternal twins can be born with dramatically different skin tones, though it is a lot rarer. Yet, while every shade is beautiful, you can only mark yes on your quiz if you and your partner feel like you could use the same shade of Fenty foundation. And yes, I do actually recommend you go take a look at their huge shade range and pick yours. Then compare that to your partner. And this brings us to our final question of the quiz. Question 10. Do you have similar vibes?
You guys have like the same vibes.
Same colors that you're wearing.
I know it sounds silly, but the style of your dress and the overall aesthetic that you present can sway a stranger from making one guess or the other.
You guys probably relate a lot on fashion or kind of like how you present.
Now, this is when I'm going to have to trust you and your partner to judge honestly. Take a look at your partner, their jewelry, their clothes, their kept or unkept appearance. Do you feel you have the same vibe? Mark yes or no. Now, while you tally up your scores, I wanted to put our quiz to the test against our siblings or dating pairs from the episode. And theorists, what I found was wild. On average, our 6 sibling pairs got a score of 4.67 out of 10. Meanwhile, our dating pairs got 5.67. That's right, the people who were dating ended up looking more similar to each other than the people who were related. I am shocked. Maybe there is something to this myth that you look like what you love, but I have to make sure. I need a bit more data, something to prove that opposites don't attract. To do that, I then analyzed 13 more couples who appeared on Jubilee's siblings or dating video. Of the 13 contestants, the 4 sibling pairs ended up with an average score of 2.75 out of 10, while the remaining 9 dating pairs had an average score of 2.67. What? That's the opposite of the answer we got before. Theorists, I think the only way for us to know if this is myth true or myth busted is to take it one final step further. This whole idea came from this weird online trend, but how trendy is it? Are humans really more likely to date someone who looks like them? To find that out, I had to turn to another source for faces: celebrities. I analyzed 10 famous celebrity pairs, 5 who were siblings and 5 who were dating, using our quiz, hoping to break our tie. And it did. My 5 celebrity siblings got an average score of 5.4 out of 10. Meanwhile, our celebrity power couples only managed a score of 2.4, which means that overall, siblings do look more alike than couples. Thank goodness. But I still want to take it one step further. Sure, from a carefully curated selection of IG posts, YouTube videos, and celebrities, siblings look more alike than dating couples. But what about in real life? What about in your own personal friend group? To make absolutely certain that this myth was busted, I also ran the test on 7 of our theorist couples. Look at these lovely faces. Aren't they so cute? I ran all 7 of our couples through our quiz just to find out that theorist also does not date people who look like them. Yes, we scored a measly 2.4 out of 10. Honestly, I'm kind of proud of us. And I'm proud that we were able to prove that humans are not more likely to choose a partner that looks exactly like themselves. But did you? How did you and your partner score? If you scored less than a 5, you are as different as sriracha and sand. If you scored a 5 or a 6, that means that you probably heard the question, are you siblings or dating, at least once during your relationship. And if you scored an 8 or more, maybe it's time to hit up 23andMe, just to be safe. But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. I wonder if this quiz works on pets. Evie! Coming up next on Style Theory. Welcome to our restroom runway. Kat got the honor of trying out the iconic jeans that started this whole stain spiral, styling our DIY version of Jordan Lucas pea stain jeans.